Okay, this is it. The main arena, Corsica Studios.
Our cities are hugely complex, each with its own identity, its own flavour. London is a finely tuned machine of business, creativity and life. But what fun would a place be if it was all work and no play? The role that music and arts have in society plays a strong part in the story behind one of London's best loved nightclubs. We caught up with Amanda from Corsica Studios to find out where it all started.
Our first space that we got was in King's Cross, around that area, which was about to be regenerated. And one of the things that we were really interested, or I was really interested in doing, is to utilise all the buildings that were in areas that were going to be regenerated. It was about a mission that the arts, instead of having all these areas which were sort of just blighted and waiting for redevelopment, to really use the arts and bring them to life again and have lots of interesting stuff that was going on there. We moved to Highbury and we moved into a building in Corsica Street, which is how Corsica got its name, because we could never think of a name of the project, so we ended up naming it after the street that we were in. We moved into Elephant and Castle in 2002, around about that time, and in fact we went up to Glasgow to visit the Arches, because that was like the only model that we could sort of find that was anything like we were trying to do. So we were looking to set something up where we wouldn't have to rely on funding, and we could do nights on the weekend that would support the arts and that would go on during the week. There wasn't a lot going on, so we had to make sure that whatever we did have going on was really, really high quality and a really good programme.
We're very careful about what we programme at Corsica Studios. Everything has to be quality, and in the 3 years since I've been there, this is what it was like when I arrived, and this is still what it's like now. We don't do anything to make a quick buck. Everything we do has got to be as credible as possible. This is really important in kind of upholding our pretty good reputation internationally. We like to book people who are kind of who've been about, you'd say, the godfathers of what they do.
From its humble beginnings as Corsica Arts Club, Corsica Studios is now a solid fixture on London's club scene, known for its great sound system, friendly vibe and regularly hosting the world's finest DJs.
It's not an easy thing to do, but we're always looking for the new talent. Everyone wants the new talent. You want to be in there first, you know. We've got some great people that work within Corsica Studios who really do have their fingers on the pulse.
We made very, very good links with the students, because there's lots of colleges around here, and you know, there's Goldsmiths and LCC and Camberwell. In 2005, we started to do a lot of nights that students were bringing from art college, and they seemed to get it. They seemed to really understand the space. They seemed to understand and get what we wanted to do.
In the 10 plus years that Corsica Studios has been going, it seems that a spirit of supporting the arts and community which they started with is still a part of their ethos and approach to nurturing talent today.
We're giving a lot of these people their first shows, I guess. First person that springs to mind is a guy called Happer, 15-year-old kid. Some guys that are working for us, James and Don, they run church and sessions. They picked up on this guy, first people to do it. Record hits the ground running. The guy's now working with Fortet, who's one of the masterminds in the game. We want to support the music industry at the end of the day.
I think everyone that works here because they care. You know, they care about music, they care about what happens, they care about Corsica, and it's really lovely to have that like-minded people, really, and who really understand and really get the ethos of what we're trying to do. It's driven by music and by creativity and people who've given their lives to, you know, creating music and giving them a platform and creating the right sort of experience for people who come here on a night out. You know, we want them to experience something really special, and hopefully we can do that with the way that we put together the lineups and the types of events that we put on and the types of nights that we do.
I'd say the thing about Elephant and Castle, the interesting thing about it is what the future holds for it, and it's going to be a totally different place in the next 5 years. So what that holds for Corsica, I don't know. You know, you know, there's a lot of clubs like Ministry of Sound, for instance, which they've had serious problems because residential have been getting built in front of them, and you know, residential is a nightclub's worst nightmare. The people get nightclubs shut down. You know, if enough sound complaints, you're going to get shut down.
I think a city needs to have space for a place where people can gather and listen to music, and all these things are really positive. You don't want to live in a city where it's just void and empty and cavernous and cold. And I think where all these little pockets sort of spring up, it gives the city, you know, a personality and life and makes it intriguing and interesting. So I think there's always going to be things that are going to be popping up, but I don't know where they're going to be popping up, you know, or you know what kind of buildings they're going to be popping up in.